Hello everyone, my name is David Carver, and this is Commercial Review. It's game day! And I'm not talking about the World Cup, rooting for the Netherlands this year. Nope, today I'm talking about the big video game trade show E3 2014, where as usual the gaming community was treated to demos and unveilings of a bunch of new titles. As part of all that unveiling and demoing, we got to see a bunch of new game trailers. Now, trailers are advertisements, but not in the way we usually think of for television or radio. That's because they're not trying to sell you something immediately, they're trying to get you excited about something that's coming in the future. Movie advertisements are the same way, with one big difference. A movie trailer's message is, in a few months or a year, we'd like you to spend 2 hours on this thing that we made. A game trailer is much more ambitious. It has to convince you to spend days and days of your life on their product. As a result, game trailers have to have enough excitement and depth and imagination to grab your attention and keep it until the release date, or at least give you something you have to talk about with your gaming friends. And gaming trailers have to start making you invested not only in what you'll see, but also in what you'll do. Depending on the type of game, they have to appeal to an excellent and involving story, innovative or retuned gaming mechanics, or huge, fantastic open worlds for exploration. So if I'm not thinking this would be fun to watch, or more importantly, this would be fun to play within the first 20 seconds of a game trailer, it's not doing its job. There were a lot of trailers this year, and we don't have time to cover them all, unless we wanted our episode to be as long as, I don't know, the Elder Scrolls Online trailer. So let's get started. Number 1, No Man's Sky. This trailer opens from the perspective of someone exiting a cave and getting their first glimpse of a lush and fantastic alien world, sort of a cross between Avatar and Jurassic Park. We get hints that exploration in this game is very dynamic, with elements and new species being scanned and identified. Doesn't take long to realize that we're not the only ones exploring this universe. So we jump into a spaceship, shoot some dudes, and go to another planet. The colorful vibrancy at play in this trailer, and the suggestions of some pretty nifty interactivity, mean that it's probably going to be a fun game to play at first. But, like Spore, I'm concerned that the game is going to suffer from too big sandbox syndrome. Basically that all of the true gameplay is going to happen when you're flying between planets and upgrading your ship, which means when you're down on the planets themselves, all you're really doing is taking pictures and documenting. And that's not fun. Number 2, Uncharted 4. There's a definite adventure movie, Indiana Jones, Jason Bourne vibe to this entire trailer. All the way from the low, foreboding musical notes and dark title sequences at the beginning, to the unnerving visual of slave cages stretching out into the jungle. I'd call this trailer a success for 3 reasons. First, this is a setting in which I want to have an adventure, so I don't mind revisiting this character or series. Second, it's a cinematic trailer, but it's not overlong, which tells me that the developers care more about getting you into the story than just making you sit there while they tell it. And third, even though we only get to see one location in the game, the careful plotting of the terrain from the riverbed to the edge of the jungle to the mountains off in the distance tells me that the developers know how to organize my gaming experience so that I have a lot to look forward to, but I'm not overwhelmed. Number 3, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. The Metal Gear Solid series at this point is pretty well known for its sprawling Sergio Leone-esque trailers, and the games themselves are more thoughtful, story-driven creations than, let's say, Doom. So all fans are going to want to see is that their expectations of a good story and a long game aren't going to be disappointed. This trailer certainly indicates that the story is going to be long enough, but as a fan of the series, I'm not convinced that it's going to offer me anything more or better than all of the other Metal Gear Solids before it, although it certainly looks like it'll be an engaging story on its own. And I guess I'm also nonplussed by the ending, which seemed intent on delivering as many slogans as possible for this one title. The only thing that got me interested in this trailer was the sight of that massive oil refinery that could have thematic ties to Metal Gear Solid 2, but sadly we only get to see the scope of that area for all of about 10 seconds total. Number 4, Arkham Knight. This one is an actual gameplay trailer, which makes it a bit different from just teaser trailers for some of these other games. The original trailer for Arkham Knight told us that this was going to be a grittier game than others in the series, and was going to involve a larger world around the mechanic of the Batmobile, which concerned a lot of people, because one of the strengths of the Arkham series has been how well and meaningfully you can interact with every section of the world, and a world with the Batmobile might be just too big for every back alley to be exciting. However, at least for me, this trailer puts a lot of that concern to rest. It looks like Batman is going to be able to travel a lot faster in this game, so I won't have to choose between the Batmobile or just Batman to get the full sense of that wide scale. And when you do hop into the Batmobile, you get that great sense of play that was harnessed by GTA and Sleeping Dogs. Namely, getting from point A to point B is still playing the game, as opposed to World of Warcraft, where getting from point A to point B is just 2 hours of your life gone. Finally, when Batman is scoping out Penguin's lair near the end of this trailer, fans of Arkham Asylum were secretly cheering to see that little blip on the screen, because that meant we were going to see one thing: this title's incarnation of the Scarecrow. And what an incarnation it is. A+, guys. Number 5, Mass Effect 4. After playing through the disaster that was the end of Mass Effect 3, I kinda let that one slip away from my radar. When I saw that a 4th one was in the works, I thought, oh, this will be a chance for the series to redeem itself. I couldn't wait to see what kind of story and world were being planned, but instead of story or world, I got this.
One of the things that fans have told us most about what they want in the next Mass Effect game is to go somewhere new.
Perhaps instead of Mass Effect 4 trailer, they should have gone with Mass Effect 4. A designer's story. I don't care what you want to do with the story, and I'm certainly not going to buy the game for the concept art. I want to see the actual game, and I want to hear about it from the game itself. The single most intriguing shot of this trailer is the one where there's a wasted planet and an alien standing in front of a booth of some kind. That's story. That's a game. Everything else is just talk. Talk is cheap, and after Mass Effect 3, it's not something you should be leaning on. Speaking of talk, number 6, the trailer for Evolve, tells us and tries to convince us that it's going to give us the evolution of gaming. This is at first a presumptuous statement, since everything that it shows us immediately after that is things we've already seen in games. Running around dark areas with a flashlight? Check. Killing bizarre, crazy-looking monsters? Check. Running around with a flashlight and killing monsters in a team of very well-armored people? Check. 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 Introducing different classes of hunters based on different playstyle? You're not even trying now. But there's an or. You can be assault, trapper, support, medic, or you can be the monster itself. The thrill of this discovery is enough to make anyone watching this trailer for the first time believe that yes, this could be an evolution in gaming. However, I'm gonna wager that anyone who watches this trailer a second time is going to wonder how different the paradigm of monsters versus monster hunters is than, let's say, Left 4 Dead Survivor versus Zombies. But I'd be willing to pay to see if they pull it off. Number 7, The Legend of Zelda. This trailer makes you sit through a lot of talking before you get to see the game. Most of it is just Eiji Aonuma, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, talking about how they were coming up for the next Zelda game. Very much like Mass Effect 4 so far, except that after the core idea has been explained and shown on screen, which is, let's admit it, Zelda in Skyrim, I get to see an innovation in a Zelda game that's drawing from the first Legend of Zelda ever, and I get to see innovations for the world, Link, his bows and arrows, and enemies. I did have to sit through all that stuff in the beginning, but it was worth it. Number 8, Destiny. I loved that this trailer seemed to open up our colonized solar system for exploration, which is something that, frankly, we should have seen before now. The story of an alien presence that enlightens human civilization and is opposed by a dark Leviathan alien force comes straight out of the tool chest of space game cliches, along with explosions, speeder bikes, energy shields. But that's what you'd anticipate in a game like this. If you're playing a space game, you want something with great aliens and explosions and spaceships. But you also want to see something new and do something cool, which is why this trailer should not have imitated modern movie trailers and sped up as it got closer to the end. The story and background, I assume I'll find out in-game. I shouldn't need to spend a lot of time on it. If I do, I'd like to spend as much time in the game, figuring out how do I upgrade my character? Can I upgrade my character? What kind of weapons are available? What kind of classes are available? What kind of different strategies are there for different situations and monsters? Instead, the end of this trailer goes at breakneck speed through all of the clips of stuff that would actually make me want to play the game. So at the end I say that was cool, but I meant the trailer, not the game, because I didn't see any of that. Number 9, Drive Club. I find a lot of trailers for racing games pretty lame. So many of them try to distract you with car porn from how much this is just another racing game. Ooh, we get to go to the mountains in this one. Again. Wow, we're driving through major cities. Again. But I respected the trailer for Drive Club. They accept that the racing bit isn't original and is a given, and instead focus on the community aspect, the social networking, the sharing, the club building. In other words, all the new things that would make you go out and buy another racing game. And last, number 10, The Witcher 3. I'm gonna be honest, nothing in this trailer made me want to not play this game. It's a fantasy story, so like space stories, we shouldn't expect much in the way of innovation. But you don't need to innovate the basics of a story if you implement it in a fun and engaging way. Like the trailer for Uncharted 4, in fact more so, the trailer for The Witcher tells you that you are always going to be part of the action, and wherever or whatever that action is, you're going to enjoy it. Not only because they've clearly taken so much time in the design of the world, but also because I have a sense of scale for all of the action that I'm seeing. Unlike Destiny, I'm never confused about what the character is doing, where he's going, and how big it is. Although the size of some of those cities, combined with The Witcher's traditional story and quest-driven gameplay, makes me nervous about how buggy it could be on release. Alright, we could keep going, but then we'd be in E3 for 5 more episodes, and ain't nobody got time for that. Let us know what you think about the trailers that came out this year, and let us know if there are any that you'd really like us to cover next time. Of course, like, share, and subscribe. Check out all the other videos that we've done, and we'll see y'all later.